Hello, welcome to the episode of Motoring Middle East. Today I'm checking out the Alfa Romeo Giulia Q, formerly known as the Quadrifoglio. This is still the top dog in the Alfa sedan galaxy. 510 horsepower, 2.9 liter twin turbo V6. Amazing chassis. Shahzad drove it many times over the years. He's driven the 2.0 as well, but this is the first time I've driven the Giulia Q. So I wanted to see if I found anything different about it, because I'm not really an Alfa person. I'm not really obsessed with the history. And at 345,000 dirhams starting, it's an expensive car for a brand a lot of people haven't heard of. But I think it's worth giving it a shot. This is actually the first sort of modern Alfa I've driven apart from the Giulietta, and I'm expecting big things. This one, by the way, is 379,000 dirhams with all the little bits and bobs. You've got black wheels, some carbon fiber bits. Yeah, whatever. It's expensive. Is it really worth buying over a BMW M3? Keeping in mind, I'm a BMW guy. I've actually owned a BMW M3, an E36 Evo. I'll put up a picture of it now so you get an idea of how cool that car was. Can this Italian car impress me? Will it fall apart? Will it break down? Only one way to find out, as a good friend of mine once said. Okay, so we're going to be doing the on-road drive of the Alfa Romeo Q, Giulia. Q for quick. So I'm actually going to break this down into two parts. The first part is our typical fast run through the twisty bits. That's the bit where you're going to put the car and really see how it pushes it in dynamic and hopefully race mode if there's no traffic. Just to build this idea of what it's like to drive it spiritedly. The second thing, which I do a little differently from Shahzad, is take you for a little bit of a road drive and see what it's like to live with just on normal road, normal highway speeds, and see if it's too much of a race car or too much of a cruiser. But first, I really want to point out that this car has really kind of made me rediscover a love of driving. I mean, as you know, I probably do a lot of off-road cars, and those are very different in every way. So I'm kind of not been interested in road cars because I find them all a bit samey, whether it's Ferraris or McLarens or whatever. They all don't excite me. They're just so easy to drive that you don't actually have to do any work. But with the Giulia, it kind of pulls you into the experience. It's like just sucks you down into it and you have to drive it. It is truly a four-door Ferrari. It's a car that actually makes me think, yes, it's very expensive at 345,000 dirhams, but actually, it's actually a bargain compared to a 911. It's a bargain compared to an M3. I think this is better than M3 because at least you feel something. And it's more practical, and it's more comfortable, as you'll see on the road stuff. But it just makes you such a star of the experience, and it reminds you that you need to drive. And it's made by people who really care. And for the first time, I feel thrilled by driving again. Because when you're going flat out in a Ferrari, you're kind of just following a preordained path because the engineers have done everything for you. You don't have to do any thinking at all, which makes it a bit staid. But with this car, it's not staid, as you're about to find out. Okay, so we're about to take it for a spirited run. As is my typical luck, in between filming that last bit and this bit, it started raining again. So I don't think I'll be able to go that fast, but I'll do my best. Okay, so 8-speed auto, 510 horsepower, about 3.9 seconds 0 to 100. I'm going to try this on dynamic. It's got multiple suspension modes. I'm going to go stiff because I don't want it soft. Lovely noise from this 2.9 liter V6. Lots of rain, but it just gathers up speed so effortlessly. This torque vectoring diff just puts the power down. Steering absolutely lovely, fingertip precise. But it's a good car. It's easy to talk, and I can actually talk to you because I'm not having to do the work of driving the car. I am having to work of avoid the rain of a big corner coming up. Let's see. Jesus Christ, the front end is insane. You kind of have to trust the front end because the cornering is interesting. It rolls a little bit, so you have to let it settle. Brake. This car does not have carbon ceramic brakes. They're not cheap. The discs, if you get them wrong, they're like 28,000 dirhams. Whoa, that is a long drop down. We're going down. Are the brakes good enough? Are the steel brakes good enough? We're going in at some interesting speeds. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This car is a workout, man. You can feel it. You can feel it putting the power down. You just have to trust it. There's a little bit more body roll than I would like. And the chassis just seems so tight. So tight, so stiff that it's going to spit you off the road into the scenery. So it's not like a supercar which is glued to the road. It's still a car. But I like that because it's exciting. Wow. What a machine. avoiding some traffic. What fun! So the brakes are pretty strong. They're brake by wire. That's my one problem, is that I don't like how the brake by wire feels. The brake by wire to me is a little bit, I don't get a feel for the brakes. I don't get a feel for when the pads are biting. But apart from that, chassis is super neutral. You can get a sense of where it's going to let go. The torque vectoring diff actually kind of moves the back around, which is disconcerting for people who've grown up with like really taped down cars. These tires, the grip is immense. The Pirelli P0 asymmetrical, which means they're not symmetric on both sides. They're also an Alfa Romeo spec, so the rubber is really good. You just have to trust that the car's got the grip. The car reminds me of a GTR, but the steering is so good, the handling is so good. You may not even be going that fast. I'll turn the stereo off. But let's try and race mode now. It says best race experience shifter with manual. I believe that. Big drop, big drop. Let's see how it does it. No problem at all. Oh, that is fast. That is fast. This car is such a thrill. It's the thrill of driving. I think there was a tagline of Evo magazine back in the day, but this is on another level. There was a car in front of me who was like way behind, and now I've just caught up with him. I'm entering the villages, so I'm going to start slowing down. But this gearbox, amazing. It just kind of makes. I haven't touched the pedals. I didn't need to touch the pedals. I'm going to put it in neutral, just drive it normally because of traffic. What a rush! What a rush! It's so finely balanced. You can feel that sort of weight distribution is perfect, so you can just place the car through the corners. It doesn't really have any bad habits. It has a good front end. The back end puts the grip down. The power is continuous and strong and linear. Turbo lag's not something you have to worry about. The car's not fighting you, which I really like. The brakes are the one weak point. Not that they're bad brakes, it's just that you don't quite feel when they're catching. But other than that, as a car to enjoy at about 7 to 8 tenths. At 10 tenths, I think you need a racetrack and need lots of space, because I feel like you get very wild, which I like. But I think for the most part, as a road car, this is sublime. And this is sublime in a way that the M3 isn't, because the M3 is more focused now on the racetrack, whereas this is focused on the real world. And that's a good thing, because how often do you go to a racetrack? How often do you go to the real world? What's it like in the real world? Well, that's the next and last bit of this review will be. So we're back on the road in the Alfa Romeo Giulia, and I kind of want to do this road bit to do a little bit of an explanation why I think the Alfa is such a good car, because it clearly feels like it is developed for the road and not for the racetrack, where a lot of cars now are being developed for the Nürburgring and the racetrack, and that favors basically three things: big speed, big aero, big brakes, big power. And all of those things make cars heavier. This car feels light, nimble, agile on its feet. I mean, its 510 horsepower feels more than enough on the road. You don't need more than this. The gearbox is just telepathic. You never have touched the paddles, although these are lovely, gorgeous Ferrari style paddles. So everything about this car feels like designed to reward you in the place where you'll enjoy it. Now the M3, the Audi RS cars are great, but because they need to deliver that big power, they've gotten so fat, they've gotten so heavy, the tires have gotten so huge, the body kits have gotten wilder. This car is none of that. It's just a car, but it's a really, really nice developed road car, and I really like that. I think you'd like that as well. I think it's a car that really rewards somebody who goes on the road for a good long drive in the mornings. But even if you don't go for a drive, if you're between 0 and 100, like I'm just doing 100 now, but I'm still enjoying myself because the steering is so nice. I can feel it just inch by inch turning left through the corner. It's not like one of these German cars now where you're like, whoop, look at that, look how much it moved. That's incredible that it's so agile, it's so fast off the center. German cars aren't like the German cars that have a huge dead spot, and then unless you put it into Sport Plus, in Sport Plus, then it's like very serious. Whereas this car, there is no Sport Plus mode. I don't think there's any difference in the steering. It just kind of is. This car does not feel like it was designed to sit between stools. Like you look at the Audis, they're great Grand Tourers that can do continent crushing speed. The BMW is like a really fast, pointy, sharp track car. The Mercedes are somewhere in the middle. They've got a bit of a hot rod stance, but they're trying to satisfy so many audiences. This car is only trying to satisfy you, somebody who enjoys driving. I would now love to drive this car with a manual gearbox. I think it would be fun. I know it's not apparently not great, but this 8-speed is so good and this engine is so tractable and just pulls so cleanly. By the way, interesting thing, on the road, it kind of keeps RPMs around like 2000 RPM, which is good for fuel economy. But if you need to go faster, it always keeps it at 3 to 6, which is where the engine loves to breathe, loves to move, loves to live. It's so exciting. Most cars now, they just build speed. That's turbos for you. This car feels turbocharged in the old-fashioned way, like, nope, back in the kidneys, back in the kidneys. I'm physically tired after driving it fast. Most of the other cars, I could go and have a chai latte. That's how it is. Alright. Just gonna finish up my ramblings now, because it's just a man telling you how much he loves cars and loves driving. And I'm gonna finish this with a beautiful corner taken beautifully. I'm obviously under 120, heading into a very steep left-hander. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, a smile on my face. Oh. It's not even in race mode, but I don't care. Wow. If that doesn't excite you, you need to get yourself checked up by a doctor. Check that pulse, because you might be dead. Thanks for watching Motoring Middle East. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all the things that, bring us hits. And I hope you buy an Alfa, because you deserve to drive something nice.